back on the 1949 Daniel Boone camper. And you might ask why I tore it down this far, and here is the answer. Let me just go in on a couple of details. There's the little cutout for that would be the door right there. This would be the cutout for the little box that you would step down into. You can see somebody tried to beef it up with some angle iron at some point, and if you just imagine a straight line there, you can see the whole corner, both corners. That one's actually much worse. Same in the back. So all the plywood in the floors was complete junk. The boxes for the fenders are also in pretty rough shape. So saved everything, gonna completely take it apart, measure each piece. I've got lots of pictures that I've been taking of everything so I can get this right back to the way it was. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today, putting the floor back together. Okay, to start putting the floors on, what I did is I took the tires off. I've got it on jack stands and I've got it leveled this way and this way. And as you can see up in the front, I have two of the new boards put in, and right now I'm just using one of the old boards because I don't have a third one cut yet as a spacer. So I'm going to lay my plywood out now and make sure that my plywood is all square on the trailer frame before I start cutting anything. So the plywood is on. I put the same material that goes down the side and clamped it down to the brackets. So that is right where it needs to be on the frame. And then I measured the frame crisscross. It is 10 foot and 1/8. You can maybe see that right there. And then I also, to double check that this was correct, I measured from here to here on both sides, and that is a nice square piece. So maybe you can kind of see that from the picture. So now I'm ready to cut my plywood because I know it's 100% accurate. I'm going to leave it clamped onto the frame and rip it right down with a saw. And a handy little thing is any old office chair you have, if it rolls and it goes up and down, they work really good for a helping hand. All right, there is the floor. 6 foot by 8 foot, 48 square feet of space on this little camper. So I had put some little sacrificial pieces of wood on right here, and as you can see, they cut right there nice. So when I put the actual real pieces in, the spacing is going to be right on. So let's keep going. Okay, so all the holes on the floor are cut in the plywood. So I thought I would show you what it looked like. I'm getting ready to test fit that. I'm going to put the camera in the tripod so you can see. I thought I would show you some of the braces. You can see there is one. There is one. This one is not installed yet. So that's kind of what I'm doing there, using hardwood on that. And then up front there's one. And so when I cut out the patterns for the sides, those will be covered. So those aren't getting glued in. They're just there, hold the floor at the correct spacing for right now. So let's go ahead and put that pan in. It's a little snug. I dropped too fast. Okay. It was the jack stand. Whew. All right, it's in. All right, so here is the pan. It is installed. This pan is really dented up. It's got a couple extra holes made in it. So I'm actually having this pan remade by some guys that do tin in galvanized like it would have originally been. But it is good to know that the original fits, and fits nice. It's a little snug in spots, but like I say, this one's real bent up. Okay, so I'm putting a stiffener across the back to kind of hold both sheets together so when I take it off, but that's also the structure to attach the rear piece of masonite. So I'm just going through and pre-drilling it with a little countersink bit right there. And then I'm using some stainless steel screws, 1 inch, to come up into it. So I'm gonna glue this as well. Rear brace, front brace are on. Those are glued on, they're permanent. The 2 pieces of plywood then are also bonded together, but I want to make sure that I paint the bottom of this. So now I'm going to lift it off, flip it over onto some sawhorses and paint the bottom. So I've just clamped in a couple of braces to kind of hold it because as you can see, there's not really a lot of plywood in those corners after this box is cut out. So I want to try to maintain as much stiffness as I can. I have the braces, the 3 braces that go through. They are all screwed from the top. Once it's flipped over, I'll take those screws out, glue the plywood, screw it back together, and then paint it. So let's flip this thing. Okay, so my first coat is pretty much tacked up. Yep, not getting anything off. You can see there's a couple spots where it's a little heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and put the second coat on. Okay, we have the floor back on. Put one of the inner fender boxes on so you can kind of see what that looks like. I'm gonna still have to rebuild those. I need to go around and just do a little bit of sanding where some of the paint dripped over the sides because some of that will be glued later. A couple of bolts still need to be tightened up, but the floor is done. It's nice and solid, and I'm pretty happy with the overall result. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Get ready though, because the next video is going to be cutting patterns and making the sides. If you got any suggestions or questions, please throw it down in the comments. I like reading those, especially if somebody's done some project similar to this. A little help is always good. I am definitely not a professional. So thanks again for watching. Come again.